Hi everyone, my name is Karen, this is my channel RatherBeReading, and today I'm doing the Choose the Year book tag. The Choose the Year book tag was created by Mel's Bookland Adventures, and I was tagged in this by Krista over at Books and Jams. I will leave a link to both of their videos down below for you guys to check out. This tag is kind of all around you choose a year, hence the title, and then you talk about different books published in that year, be it books that you've read or haven't read, so on and so forth. You'll figure it out pretty quickly as we go on. So let's jump straight in and answer all of these questions. So question number one is just to choose a year and say why. So I have decided to go with the year 2005. So I was really torn on what year to choose. 2005 I've decided on. It is the year that I graduated high school. Which I think is the same, it's not the same year, but it's the same premise that Christy used to choose her year. I was tossing up between 2005 and 2014, but I thought 2005 might be a little bit more interesting to talk about because it's a little bit further back in time, and so we might talk about some more books that we don't talk about as much on BookTube because they are published like quite a while ago. So yes, 2005, I graduated high school, which means next year would be like my 15-year high school reunion, which is kind of crazy to think that I've been out of school, just school generally, longer than I was even in school. Is crazy to even think about. So yes, I did choose the year 2005. So question two is just to which books published in that year have you read, or if none, have you heard of? I have definitely read books published in 2005. So on Mel's original video, there is a link to a Goodreads page where you can select the year and it gives you the list of the most popular books published in that year. The first page of those lists has 200 books on it. So I went through all of those 200. I also then went to my read shelf on Goodreads and sorted it by publication date and checked on there all of the books that according to that I'd read that are published in 2005. So this probably still isn't a complete list, but according to that, by my calculations, I had read a total of 19 books that were published in 2005. I'm not going to go into all of them because this video would just go on for forever, but I thought I would mention some notable ones. So, Twilight by Stephanie Meyer, which we can see right here on my shelves. Twilight was published in 2005, which I have read. The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo, which again, you can see right here. This must be like my early 2000s shelves. So yes, The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo by Stieg Larsson, very notably, and probably the only one of these books published in 2005 that I would have read in 2005, which is Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince by J.K. Rowling, because I definitely read that in publication year. Cattail. The Book Thief by Marcus Zusak, possibly my favorite book of all time aside from the Harry Potter series. So 2005, not only did I graduate high school, but some real good books were published. Poison Study by Maria V. Schneider was published in 2005, which is the first book in the study series, but also just in the Chronicles of Ixia generally, and I really did enjoy that book. The Lincoln Lawyer by Michael Connelly was published in 2005, which is the first Michael Connelly that I ever read, and is the first one of his that I ever read, but obviously I have read a ton from Michael Connelly since then. Vanishing Acts by Jodi Picoult was published in 2005. What else? The Memory Keeper's Daughter by Kim Edwards, which I feel like was a really popular book in that time and around the first few years after it was published, which I have read and I really didn't like. What else have we got? Gods in Alabama by Jocelyn Jackson, which I read quite recently as I've been trying to read her backlist. That one was published in 2005. A Feast for Crows by George R.R. Martin. One of the books obviously in the A Song of Ice and Fire series, or the Game of Thrones series, which I have read. And then the last one that I'll mention that I have read that was published in 2005 was Never Let Me Go by Kazuo Ishiguro. Question number three is, are there any books published in that year that sound interesting? And would you read them now? So there are in fact 5 books published in 2005 that I own and have on my physical TBR shelf that I haven't read yet. So those are Looking for Alaska by John Green, The Glass Castle by Jeanette Walls, Uglies by Scott Westerfeld, 13 Little Blue Envelopes by Maureen Johnson, and Prep by Curtis Sittenfeld, which I am going to read all of those because I own them and I always read the books. I've never unhauled something I haven't read. And then further to those 5, there is also a 6th book that I had marked that I don't own, that I had marked as to read, that was published in 2005, which is A Certain Slant of Light by Laura Whitcomb, which when I saw that I was like, what is this? I've never heard of it. But if I recall, when I saw the cover, I think this is a book that Katie from Chapter Stacks talked about on her channel at one point. I think I marked it as to read because of that. So there are definitely books, and I'm sure if I went in depth into that list, there are probably a lot of books published in 2005 that I would be interested in reading in, but there's definitely some there that I own, so that I'll definitely be reading. So question 4 is just to talk about the most obscure sounding book. So I went through, again, all 200 books, scanning through, looking for some more obscure sounding books, and the one that I've gone with that I thought was pretty obscure is Flush by Carl Hiaasen. This is a YA book about a boy whose dad is convinced that this, what is it? It's like a casino boat. He's convinced that the casino boat is flushing its sewage directly into the harbor. And so he is attempting to sink the boat because of that. Because it's like poisoning the water with the sewage, he believes. And so I think he gets in trouble for trying to do that. And then the teenage boy that the story focuses on tries to take over his dad's mission to sink a casino boat that they think is flushing raw sewage into the harbor. And just the fact that the book's called Flush, it just was pretty obscure in my opinion. And then the final question to this tag is just the strangest book cover. So this was quite fun looking through again. I scrolled through the 200 books on the first page of that list, and there were quite a few like kind of strange, not necessarily strange, but very early 2000s covers, if you know what I mean. But the one I've gone with that I thought was just the funniest and like the strangest to me is Moonrise by Erin Hunter. The cover will be here. Yeah, that just like the weird, like I love cats. Obviously I own 2 of them, but the cat face in the middle and then like the cat, I don't know if it's supposed to be cats or if it's like big cats pulling, because obviously it would normally be like husky dogs like pulling a sled. So I don't really know what's going on this cover, but it did look very, very interesting and quite strange to me. And that's it. That was the Choose the Year book tag. I'm not going to tag anyone specifically, but this was a lot of fun, even just looking through the list for the different years and realizing what books were published in what years and thinking about how many you've read from that year and that time. And it was also very nostalgic to just think about 2005 and high school Karen. Probably best not to dwell on. But yeah, it was a lot of fun. So I would love to chat with you guys in the comments down below if you've read any of these books that I've talked about, or what books from 2005 you've read or you're interested in reading. I would love to know. Please like this video if you liked it. Please subscribe if you want to see more from my channel. But that is all I have for this video today. Bye guys.